Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be taking a deeper dive into our thoughts about Brittany and Will.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. Blair, I don't like what I'm about to say, but what I'm about to say is going to be real.
All right.
Right? I'm going to start with Brittany. I think y'all misunderstand me when it comes to Brittany, right? I don't respect people who don't respect themselves. It's not personal with Brittany, right? So when I say I'm over Brittany, I'm over the fact that she don't stand up for herself. I'm over the fact that she don't see the value in herself. I'm over the fact that she think it's a one-sided decision. I'm over the emotions and the is he the one? You get what I'm saying? Besides you evaluating him and seeing basically what about him can he change and do better? I'm just over the whole am I good enough for him type of thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to Brittany. Especially, and guess what? We seen the inside of your house. I've seen those degrees. You get what I'm saying? I've seen how you talk about how you got your house at a young age. Things that you should definitely pat yourself on the back for. But I'm just but your self-esteem and your need for Will's validation, because I truly believe that you do ask him every day what his decision is going to be, and that's a problem to me.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't like that. That is beneath you. You get what I'm saying? What is your thoughts?
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about them just overall.
Yeah.
Like my sign says, I think they both need therapy. Brittany has some deep issues with, like you said, needing validation. It seems like putting herself in the not submissive, but in the inferior position when it comes to this relationship. And it's very odd to see because I think that she's everything. I think she has a beautiful home. She's worked hard. She's beautiful, banging body. So I'm just it's just crazy to see her and just putting herself in this inferior position and kind of and I hate the pick me type of thing because I think everybody wants love. Everybody wants to be chosen.
But you're right.
But the whole kind of pick me, choose me, love me type of thing, when it comes to Will, because I think that you could want that with the right person, but you still have to figure out if that person's right for you. And then when it comes to Will, I just feel like there is a block for him to where he cannot provide that support. The only thing he knows how to do is rub her back because that's what has worked so far. But I don't think it's because that's a natural inclination for him. I mean, he didn't even walk after the girl when she left the room. So I think if it was up to him, he would just let her sit by herself and be pouty and moody. But that's his way of trying, or at least trying to get her to calm down. And I feel like he's not doing his part of being honest and vulnerable in the relationship in order for her to improve and work on the things that she needs to work on. So that way he can find more of an attraction and a bond and connection to her. They're both in their own ways, I feel like.
Yeah. The only difference that I have with what you said is I feel like Will's doing it on purpose, though.
Yeah. And I wouldn't put it past him.
I feel like he is weaponizing incompetence and trying to act like he don't understand and trying to make it seem like he leads with his head and not his heart, and that's why they are where they are. Will answers intentionally, right? And let me just talk about Brittany's story. And this is the story that Brittany given us, right? She's in the past 10 years, she haven't been in a relationship longer than 3 months. She also added to the story of she is someone that falls fast to where she's in a relationship, or she's exclusive in a relationship rather, in a week or less, right? So there is a desire to be loved by someone else, and that's dangerous. You get what I'm saying? Because if your overall desire to be loved by someone else is stronger than you loving yourself and seeing the value of yourself, you won't really see that value until someone validates it. And that's dangerous to me. That's wrong, right? You need to validate yourself and know who you are. And because that's why I'm when I hear that you haven't had a relationship longer than 3 months and 10 years, it kind of gives me of Groundhog Day. What are you doing in the past 10 years that you are going through the same basic turmoil of relationships, right? What is the thing about you falling for people a week into meeting them and becoming exclusive within a week? There's like a need there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you going through this cycle of feeling the need to be loved externally? Right? There's nothing wrong with it, but when you put it on a higher pedestal of loving yourself internally, I think that's a problem, right? But it goes back to how she was raised and basically how her mother said, everything you've seen us do the opposite, right? So she doesn't have in-house the great examples to look up to.
Okay.
So she's basically learning on her own, you get what I'm saying? And even signing up for Married at First Sight, I think that was I don't want to say last resort, but I think she figured, you know what? I did a bad job, or like I keep going through this Groundhog Day of picking these guys that don't pick me. So I'm going to let the experts pick somebody for me. Mm-hmm. And whoever they pick, I'm going to be the best wife. I am going to I'm all in. She was all in before she even met Will.
Yeah.
And this is what they basically encourage you to be. When you are married, be a wife. Mm-hmm. Be all in, right? But the problem with that is if you're going all in and your internal love for yourself is not established, then you're not also going in to protect your neck. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get taken advantage of in many cases, right? Mm-hmm. So what we see many times through the relationship of Will and Brittany is she's very eager to have a great relationship, to basically make this work. Right? But she's inexperienced. She don't know what to feel. She don't know what to do. Basically, she just like, am I the one? That is a very inexperienced question. You get what I'm saying? Because when you are in a relationship, a relationship have to do a lot with work. It have to do a lot with compromise. Have to do a lot with conversations. This is not Mickey Mouse and Minnie. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're in the real world.
We're in the real world. So that's why these type of inconsistencies when it comes to what she expects compared to what she really gets, that's why she's getting a total letdown. That's why she's 100% disappointed many times.
Well, I want to add to the fact that I think that what also plays into Brittany's disappointment is how she places affection and physicality on a pedestal in the relationship. I feel like that type of thing,
intimacy,
that type of only those forms of intimacy is what really gives her the signal that somebody is interested. Mm-hmm. And how we talked about in the episodes that, like you talked about, being exclusive with people quickly, that could also possibly, I don't know Brittany's situation, but being intimate with people pretty quickly, and no judgment, people can do whatever they want with their bodies,
of course.
But I think that if you put that as, okay, now I can tell this person really wants me because they want my body, or because they're touching and rubbing and all this type of stuff. If we even think back to what she was saying at the beginning, she talked about how her parents weren't very affectionate, and she wants the opposite of that in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that she kind of ranks as number one. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who will want you for your body but not want you long term. And I think that that's kind of the cycle that she's been in. And even though she's with Will, the trigger for her was him not wanting her physically, which, not that he didn't want her physically, but because of the situation that transpired,
exactly
caused him to pull away. And the fact that it seems like she reacts with emotion versus like fully communicating out her point. And I'm not going to put it past her as an issue necessarily. I do think it is an issue, but I think that it is also up to your partner to help come to common ground with you. And I think Will refuses to come to common ground to find a solution. So I think that's the thing with Brittany, is that she has to, at some point, really see the value in other aspects of the relationship, so that way she can fully not only vet the person but see like what fulfills her entirely, because the physicality is not going to get the job done.
No, it's not. And going back to that experience to where they had, just based off the context clues that we got in the episode, they had sex, something happened when it had to do with allegedly protection, maybe, I don't know, but she was kind of flipping out, basically like, maybe we shouldn't have did this, maybe we should have, and her reaction caused Will to be like, you know what, let's take sex off the table, right? And what she heard was basically, to your point, oh, you don't want me.
Yeah.
And she even said, like, we on our honeymoon, like, we supposed to be doing this and things like that. Because to her, she had a script in her head. She didn't account for humans, you get what I'm saying, for someone to be different. Right? She basically said, listen here.
Or difficult,
right?
Right.
She just said, listen here, I got this script. of how we both can say yes on decision day. And if you just follow these points, I will feel loved. And I know that I can be a good wife.
And the point that she's missing too, just to throw it in there, is that you guys are still strangers. Even though
100%.
I totally relate to the point, you don't want to be with a man or have your husband not want to be with you physically, but you're putting the husband title on Will, which he is, and you should treat him as such, but he's not going to step up to the plate in that way because he's a stranger. Y'all got to work there. Yeah.
And then on top of that, Married at First Sight gave him the title.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Decision Day is you giving him the title.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? Those are two different things. The show gave you the title wife and gave him the title husband. But Decision Day, you get to decide if you want to keep it. That is you giving the title of I want to be your wife or I want to be your husband, right? But to your point, you even saying that they are strangers, that don't mean anything to Brittany.
No.
Because she said, I get exclusive with people within a week. You get what I'm saying? So because of that experience, she only viewed intimacy through the physical part of it. But this is where people like Will is dangerous. And I told y'all, how do you deal with someone like Will? You don't engage, right? I think Will knows how inexperienced she is, right? Based on her expectations, based on her reactions and things of that nature. Something as simple as if there's some type of, because I don't even view it as an argument, but remember how he took sex off the table and then she basically was pouting the whole day the next day and things like that, and pouting, and he basically got to coddle her. I think he views, at that moment, I'm like, he views her as a baby.
Yeah, childish.
He views her as childish, as someone that I can't view as an equal. Yeah. Right? And at that moment, because of her inexperience, she basically opened up the door to him for him to basically use her emotions against her. You get what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is, right? So as we go past that, eventually, when they get back to the house, nothing could have, here's the thing. Nothing could have fixed or make better in Brittany's mind until they had sex. Because remember, they had a date.
Yeah.
It was a great date where they saw some castles and things like that. But guess what? That's not what's on the script.
He said, close the legs.
Right?
He said, I don't want none.
So at the end of the day, she opened herself to be rejected by Will.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you have inexperience. You're not protecting your neck because by you're like, listen here, being a wife, I'm coming in here, I'm eager, but you're inexperienced. And you didn't see the day as a great day overall. You only see the day as a way to basically get to feeling like someone wants you, and that's through physicality.
Yeah.
Right? Then eventually we get to the house, and then we see the nanny cam, and then we see you basically humping his leg like a dog. You get what I'm saying? To where like you need that type of validation. And that's why I'm like, that external validation or the need for external validation from a guy or from the opposite person can put you in a dangerous position to where you never feel at ease. That's why she feel like she's on eggshells. Yeah. Because she's daily seeking.
Well, I want to give her this much. I do want to say that, yes, because if you weren't seeking that need for external validation, then you would be able to take Will as he is and maneuver around him.
And see him for who he is.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And not letting yourself be so attached to every single word and every word that he doesn't say. And that's the thing. I think she's an overthinker. I think she analyzes a lot of different things. I think with Will, he leaves room for you to analyze because he doesn't really answer straight. He answers in the gray. And I think that with Brittany, I think it's fair for her to be disappointed because she came into this process wanting to have a successful relationship. And I do think I think that unfortunately she made a terrible first impression. And I do think that Will had his stuff with him, but when we were in those first few episodes with them together, he really wasn't doing anything too crazy when it came to her.
For her to react that way.
For her to react the way that she was reacting. And I felt like her reactions and her level of disappointment caused him to shut down and shut up. And I think that he's really not planning on giving her anything either way, because I honestly feel like he doesn't want to have to deal with her emotions, even though he's having to maneuver and navigate around them anyway. Yeah.
Now let me get to Will, unless you got more to say about Brittany.
No, that's all.
Let me get to Will. Your father, my father-in-law, said a word I haven't heard in years, right, of describing Will.
Yeah.
He said, Will is kind of like a social reject. And I'm like, ooh, I haven't heard that word in decades. You get what I'm saying? Since I was in elementary school. Let me tell you something about Will. a lot of people believe that Will is intelligent, that he's smart, and all that stuff. And just to give you a little insight on what I think about Will, because me and Blair was talking about this outside the camera, off the show. I told Blair, I said, Will is the smartest dummy in the room, right? And the thing about Will is that anybody who's constantly trying to prove how smart they are is like, yeah, you're not really all what you present yourself to be. Chad sees it.
Yeah.
Chad was like, oh, dude, you talk like this all the time?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And what do Chad do? Chad doesn't get in no type of combative of trying to get him to not talk that way.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, that's your type. Okay,
cool. Disengage.
Exactly.
Megan got her own issues. What did Megan do when Will was like, oh, I definitely didn't say I love you. That's intentional. That's not him like he's intentionally going at her emotions, trying to get, because he knows the type of person Brittany is. You get what I'm saying? So when he said that, what did Megan do? She laughed.
Yeah.
And she's not laughing at Brittany. She's laughing at the type of person Will is. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're one of those jokers.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? He's like, don't do that. Don't do that. And then he goes into this whole diatribe about, love can be manipulative to where, you know what? If you on cancer and you got to go through chemotherapy and you cussing me out, I'm still going to be there for you. What are you talking about? That's what I mean by smartest dummy in the room.
Yeah.
So we asked, you could have, the thing about it is, he could have easily got his point across about where they were in the relationship, about who said I love you and who didn't, without saying, oh, I definitely didn't say it. And the reason why that sticks out, Will definitely didn't say it to Brittany, who needs external validation.
Yeah.
So he's basically putting a statement out there for Brittany to understand that I did not say it to you.
Yeah.
You may love me and you may think I'm the one and things like that, but let it be clear, Brittany, I did not give that validation that you need.
Yeah.
And that's intentional, right? And that's why I get so mad at Brittany, but I'm really not mad at Brittany. I'm kind of mad at the inexperience.
Well, the thing is, we're on Will right now. So
No. It's going back to Will. The reason why I get mad at Brittany, but I'm not mad at Brittany, I'm mad at the inexperience.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dealing with someone like Will is so easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy. You just have to mirror the person that he is.
Well, I want to talk about the fact that Will is like this in all aspects. He's like this with his friends. He was like this in first impressions with her parents. He's like this when talking to, all of the contestants. And I'm not going to put it past him that there is definitely a possibility for intentionality and just a-holeness out there. But I do want to take into consideration that there might be something in the way that he thinks or the way that he feels like he needs to respond that is inhibiting him socially. And I think that the fact that he came on to Married at First Sight, the fact that his relationships aren't working out, the man travels for work and he's, probably alone a lot of the time. I can see where he may want partnership and companionship. But the part that kind of trips me up a little bit is because I wonder if Brittany wasn't as dramatic as she was, what version of Will would we see? Because I don't feel like he is giving us a true version of himself.
He's not.
I think that he's giving us just enough for him to get through this experience and to try to keep Brittany calm through all these weeks they got to spend together. But I don't know, like, what are, and that's the thing when it comes to the questions that Brittany asked him, is because she's trying to get to know who he is. Yeah. But I think that he has really like shut down. And let's say, for example, that he really has no thoughts. He has no opinion. He has no preferences in life. He is just a middle of the road type of man with little words. Yeah. If that is the case, then I think that how would I say it? Not that he would. When Brittany digs into him and then he throws out an answer and then there's like additional conflict after the fact, I think that Will, if he is that person, then he shouldn't bring up things in those moments. Yeah. I do understand Brittany when she says, well, if this was an issue, why didn't you say anything? And his thing is, well, it's not really a big deal. That's why I didn't bring it up. Yeah. But the thing is, you're noticing things, Will. and they are sticking out to you, and they are making you calculate and come to some type of conclusions. And I think that what he could do if he actually wanted this relationship to work is to share the conclusions that he's coming to see if they could possibly create some changes or some compromises in the way they go about things. But because he doesn't look at or view Brittany as a equal partner, he's not going to share those thought processes with her. And I think sometimes just in how men think sometimes anyway, is that they don't feel like they want to include other people in their thought process. They want to present it when it's fully formed and this is what it is. But if you're coming to an assessment of a person that you don't really know based off of reactions to their triggers, that's not a fair assessment of that individual.
Ooh, you said a lot. I agree with majority of what you say. Based on what you see, and I know it's kind of hard to judge based off the episodes that we see, do you think Will desire love?
I think he does. And I'll tell you, it's not because I can see it. And the way that he moves or the way that he communicates, I can't tell that he wants love and partnership, because it doesn't sound like he is open to allowing that, because he seems very rigid. But the fact that he came on here, I mean, I don't see what other reason he has to be here. It's not like he's promoting a book or, a CD or something.
Yeah.
So
let me go with the first thing you said about how he is with everybody, right? When he tried to correct his friends in that room, what did his friends do when basically they tried to, when he tried to correct them? They made fun of him.
Yeah.
Like, well, Will, shut up. You know what I'm saying? When Chad and Megan kind of see the person that Will is, even though like he's showing the same type of characteristics, what did they do? Chad dismissed him. He's like, oh, it's okay. I see you. It is what it is. Megan laughed at him, right? But with Brittany, because her reaction is emotional, I think he gets off on that. I think he gets off on knowing that I can move people this way. Right. And that's why I'm like, if she wasn't so easily moved and kind of, and not so much mirror, I don't want to make it seem like it's tit for tat. But to your point, Will signed up for this show too. By him signing up for this show, you would think that he want to be a husband to somebody and he wants to be loved. Right. Hey, leave room in the relationship for Will to show that he wants to be loved too. That is not all about Brittany. That, hey, you know what? Will wants to be loved. What does it look like when Will wants to talk to me?
But I feel like what responsibility do you put on Will to kind of stop Brittany in her tracks?
What do you mean?
Because you're saying that he should allow room for,
no,
or there should be room in the relationship for him.
She should allow herself to basically take a step back.
Okay. All right. So the question that I'm asking is, Will is allowing Brittany to take up all the space, to require all the things, and she's asking him questions that he is not wanting to give answers to. At what point is it Will's responsibility to bring things to the table of the things he needs to change for him to get what he wants out of the relationship? When does he need to speak up?
It's all of his accountability.
Okay.
It's all his responsibility. But the reason why I feel like he's not doing it, because I think, to your point, maybe first impression, he probably don't trust that, you know what, I don't really trust that I'm going to get something out of it. Or he may just see this as a game. He may just see, like, you know what, I have this belief, and maybe my belief is kind of controlling how I think about people in general, right?
Okay.
And and it's not no religious cult belief, right? I have a belief that all humans in any form, they desire power, right? In any form that they can get it, right? So the fact that he knows that he can yo-yo her emotions at a drop of a dime by saying nothing, right? When he says nothing, the best thing that Brittany should give him back is nothing.
And you think that's more satisfying to him than getting what he came here for?
And I think it's more, and that's the thing about it. I think at this point where he is, I think he knows that, hey, I know she already let it be known that, hey, I choose you.
Yeah.
I choose you.
Yeah.
I choose you, right? So he knows that the ultimate prize that she wants is I choose her. But I'm going to starve her out, though. because obviously I've been acting this way and she's still choosing me.
And that's because he's already written her off, or you think he'll say yes on this? I feel like he's already written her off.
I think he's going to say yes.
Really?
I think all of this is just, guess what? He's just playing a game of basically yo-yoing her emotions and things like that, because I believe all humans in some factor desire power. And he just like, guess what? I can kind of tame you. I can kind of control you. I can do all these things with you, and you go act out, and you really, at the end of the day, you really want me. You get what I'm saying?
But he seems to be a little bit exhausted of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's the only thing that makes me question. Well, not the only thing, but that's one of the things that makes me question, is he just kind of biting his tongue and buying his time until decision day.
Or I really don't want to do this analogy, but it's the only analogy I got, right? Whenever you're training someone or training something, being exhausted comes with it. But the ultimate prize at the end of it is, I got your train. You get what I'm saying? So I think when it comes to Brittany, I think he sees Brittany as a project, and basically she's going to learn based on how he move, how to react. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of, and that's why I say with people like Will, you don't engage with people like Will. And one of the things that I see a lot of people giving Brittany criticism for, that I 100% stand behind Brittany on when they was talking to Dr. Pierre, Pastor Kyle said, hey, have y'all talked about where y'all going to live? Right? And he said, yeah, I'm willing to move in with her, but I'm definitely keeping my apartment. Like, that was intentionally said that way. Yeah. Right? To basically say, oh, here is, I give you a little bit of a pat on the back, but at the same time, you still got to earn me to be fully here. Yeah. Because, and then when you catch him, he's so vague and he thinks he's so smart that when Dr. Pierre questions, it's like, you see how that sounded? And that's when he always going for the aha. Really, what I'm saying is that I live close to the airport, and that if we want to go into the city, we have another place to stay. And it's just that's the biggest lie that Will was saying. And that's the thing. It's like the way that he talks, you have to question his intention. Exactly. Even when she's asking him, how do you feel about our connection, where we stand? It could be stronger. Giving her something to strive for. Because he said it could be stronger, but in that statement, it doesn't say anything about what he can do better. Or where we currently stand. Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, he's basically dangling a carrot in front of her face. And he's doing it purposely, right? To, at the end of the day, hoping that maybe she gets right and she gets trained and she acts right and things like that, to where now, guess what? Yes, I take you. I think Will is definitely going to say yes on decision day. Wow. I actually think both of them going to say yes on decision day. Wow. Because Brittany already told us what her answer is. Yeah, I feel like Brittany's starting to lean towards the no, because I think she's getting that gut feeling that this is not healthy for her. Oh, no, it's not, though. Yeah, and I think that the more, especially that dinner scene when everybody was trying to communicate with him and he seemed to be digging his heels in and explaining his point, I feel at that point may have been hopefully praying that was a turning point for her, that he's just not going to give you what it is that you need. Oh, 100%. Yeah. But also, that scene where Brittany was crying, that last episode 10 it was, I was so mad at Brittany, because I was like, Brittany, stand up, please, stand up, understand that, guess what, like, you may be already there, but he got ways to go. Don't tell me you are in love with his mind and things like that, where you can't get a yes or no out of him whenever you ask him a question. What is today? Well, it depends on which side of the earth we on. You get what I'm saying? It's like don't. The only thing that Brittany said that was honest was, I never met someone like you, and I'm probably never gonna meet no one else like you. Facts. And that's probably facts, 100%. Yeah. But you're not in love with his mind. You hate the way he talks, right? And I do feel like there is something internally in Brittany that she's trying to ignore. That's probably what's making her emotional, because she really wants this. But there's something in her that's saying, Will ain't it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? As much as she wants it to be it, as much as she took it to the family and they all happy. Look at it, they kissing. We never saw Brittany with a guy coming to the house and she's like, I want this not only so much for me, but so much for my family. And that's why I fear that she's putting too much weight onto the married at first sight process. Yeah. Because, I mean, she's taking it like this is her husband to the grave. Like, this is the situation. I signed up for this. This is my husband. And the fact that, you know, he's been a lot of firsts for her when it comes to coming to the house, introducing and being around all her family, that you
you bring people to these places and in these safe and sacred spaces because they have proven themselves to you that they are a safe enough person and that they deserve to be in your safest and most sacred places. And unfortunately, just having the title doesn't grant you that access when it comes to Married at First Sight. And because this show offers people that title, which is, I guess the experiment in this situation, that some people kind of take the title and run with it without realizing that this is not a good person or a safe person for me. And I'm not saying that to say that Will is a dangerous maniac on the streets.
No, I don't think so.
But I am saying that to say that this dynamic does not do her any good. No, she has headaches every day. I know she does because she'd be doing all that crying every day.
Will not even the worst person on the show. Rhonda and Megan are fighting for that title. Like for one, for me, and I'm probably leaning more towards Rhonda. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Will is just the same way as I feel like she is experienced when it comes to relationships. I just feel like Will, how he's acting in this whole relationship is childish. You get what I'm saying? It's 100% childish. He's doing riddles all the time. And at the end of the day, I think he likes her, but I think he likes the fact that he can toy with her emotions whenever he wants to. Yeah. And sometimes, I know this may seem counterproductive, sometimes it is dangerous for women to basically let the guy know how much they like them so early on and things like that, because you can't trust that he'd be a safe spot and actually handle that with care.
Yeah, because some people can use it to manipulate. Exactly. And the funny thing is that he says that, people can use the word love to manipulate.
But he's doing it.
People can use the withholding of love to manipulate as well. So we got to take all that into account.
Blair, you hit the nail on the head right there. He was the one who brought up manipulation with love, not even realizing that whole time he's actually holding the carrot back from Brittany, and that's manipulation in itself.
Yeah.
I don't trust Will. I told y'all from the jump. Yeah. How you deal with Will, you disengage and you just let him talk to himself.
Facts, yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.